Welcome to Trading Lounge and the commodities report, starting with the treasuries. Here we've on a daily chart, we've got wave 3, 4 and 5 moving lower through here. So I've got a very conservative count here in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3. Once this finishes here, 4. It's a bit conservative, but I want to try to tie it in with the US dollar and also the yields as well. So with the 10-year yields here, this is a weekly chart going from wave 4 to wave 5 up here. Let's just have a look at this on the daily chart. It's a little bit messy in here, but it's still moving quite nicely to the upside. So we've labeled in wave 1 and 2, so we're in the third wave here. I could look at this as 1 and 2, 1 and 2, or 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, but this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Definitely still going to the upside, you know. So in terms of the Elliott structure, so yeah, yields up, bonds down, dollar to the upside. The dollar here following the yields up as well, up into the 108 on the DXY here, and yeah, this can be counted in different ways here. But like I said, if we can tie in the treasuries and the yields to the dollar, we won't be too far away. And then also too, we can tie in, while this is moving up here, we can expect gold and silver to be moving down. We can see that some of the other base metals are under pressure as well. They've all got their individual cases, of course. We're seeing uranium quite strong, so we're sort of pinning that down as the favorite in the race to the upside. But yeah, this market here from a daily chart to an intraday 2000 ticks here, just once again, it's a little bit sort of messy here, and even though I'm okay at counting waves and been doing it for a while, I could certainly have this wrong, so take it with a pinch of salt. But like I said, I think the important point is that if we get the bottom of the yield, the treasuries at wave 3 here, then we'll try to pin wave 3 here and 4 and 5. But in the meantime, you know, if you're looking at the loonie and all those, they should be all sort of moving up and the other pairs moving down and so on. So we've got a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. And I'm not sure if that's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and here. You have to check, but definitely a little third wave developing in here, and then we'll have the fourth and the fifth and so on up here for the third, and then the fourth and then the fifth up here to get up to this one up through to here. So yeah, this little trend here is not completed to the upside. Okay, so while this is moving up, then we can expect the gold and silver to be moving down. Let me just focus out here for a little bit on this. Let's just go to the bigger picture here. This is 20k ticks here. So we're looking at wave 1 up here, and we can have wave A here. We can have wave B here. It does open up a bigger picture, and I could put this as wave 1 here and 2 here and 1, 2, 3. So I could either do that. In fact, what I will do is I'll just copy that there, and I'll just put that there as a little reminder. But down to the 1800 for gold. And the other side of this is that we can look at this a little bit differently with a triangle pattern for wave B here as well. I mean, silver's going through the sort of same thing as well. So just cutting in over here, there's probably different ways to count this here too. So I've got it just very simply as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then look for wave 2, and then we can go down to wave 3. Now the other side to this is that this could be down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2, and then continue down here for this, you know. So it would look a little bit like excuse me, here, I'll just grab that, put that here as 1 and 2 here. So I'll be aware of this because we're short at the moment, but when the 1900 becomes the retested resistance, not so much in the fifth, anyway, I'll get to that in a minute. So it could be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then continue to the downside So in a nutshell, we can look to go short under here, but we're going to try to get better shorts over here and all the rest of it. So how this is going to play out here, I'm not too sure, but I'll just go back to the simplistic wave structure here for the moment. I'll just put these, just put them over here out of the way a little bit. So anyway, just to let you know that I'm mindful of a couple of different patterns for that, because you know, we've got this floor here at the 1900, you know, give or take, and eventually what sort of happens with this, it's a bit, you know, it's this kind of, you know, behavior here where you get lower, where you get these sort of lower highs coming into play, and eventually, you know, the market will drop through here, you know, and then it'll want to come back and test it. Now it may just hit the level and drop, or it could just do, you know, do something like that and then drop. You know, this is where we'll be waiting over here for this, you know, because this confirm, I mean, I can see that it needs to come through. I don't really have an issue with that, so we could buy, you know, the pullback, especially if this is 1 2 3 4 5 here. We'll look to, you know, move in and build in through this side over here for that. But many roads to Rome, so it just depends on, you know, what you're doing and so on. So but anyway, let's just go back to the, so if we're looking, we'll go to the intraday and look at this as 1 2 3 4 5 here. That's how we've been sort of looking at it during the week so far. So on 1000 ticks here. So I've got this top here in two different ways here, but don't worry about that too much. It's really just this structure. We counted 5 waves down here, and anyway, we've got wave 2 here. So I'm looking at this here now as 1 and 2 in here, 1 2 3. I could probably rearrange that in here too as the third, fourth wave here. I could sort of move that across over here. But anyway, a little bit like the S&P 500, we're actually looking for this little wave 4 to come into play here. And then down, so that will give us, we don't have to worry about it at the moment. So this wave 1 here, this is this low that we're looking for. Now if I get it wrong in here, it doesn't matter too much, because you can definitely see that this is 1 and 2 and a nice strong third wave here. So we don't have the fourth yet. And even if the fourth became the wave 2 here, then it's going to have a higher rally over here for that, you know. Well, it won't be that wave 2, it will be this wave 2 over here, because this wave 1 would go over to here. So 1 and 2 over to here, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. So yeah, anyway, we're still a little bit early yet. We don't have to concern ourselves with it just yet, but I'll be all over it. So look, if you're short at the moment on this, then you want to be taking some money off the table in amongst, well, I don't know if you want to go through all of that there. I'll just put this in here. You do what you need to do at this point, but you need to take something off the table, and then you'll need to take whatever else is off down here on this wave 5 here, because we've got to get, you know, we don't want to get caught in this wave 2. It can come back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or could come a bit higher or a bit lower, but we'll see how that sort of plays out. But this is our goal, to get to this point here. And sometimes it works out really nicely. Sometimes you get a nice 1 2 3 4 5, you know, sometimes you get it. And sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's a bit like, you know, you'll get your 5 waves here and everything is like nice and rosy, or even, and you know, then you get your ABC, or you can get the situation where it comes down for 1 and 2, and then you think you're on the right track, but you actually get another 1 and 2 here, and then another 1 and 2 in here, and this sort of behavior here, you know, and then it just drops really quickly into the third of the third. So I'm aware of both cases, so we should be all right, and we'll it's just good to point them out, you know, because sometimes when you're expecting this 1 2 3 4 5, and then you get something else that's just moved so quickly and left you standing there, and you know, thinking, you know, what was that? What happened? So anyway, that's that. Sorry to yak too long. So this is silver. We've got this top here, and we've got 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2. I could probably bring that out into here, I think. Anyway, we talked about taking money off the table here yesterday at the 2-3, which is probably the right thing to do. So we'll probably I could probably bring this down a bit further, but I think taking profit on this into group 2 here would be the right thing to do at this point. You'd probably get further down. If you don't want to do that, then just bring your stop down into here above there. Okay, that will just do that. Either one or the other, do whatever you want. So this wave, we're a bit early for this wave 2. I think we've got to tie it into what's the name, so into the other one. So maybe I don't like putting, I just silly to put a stop at 23 there. It doesn't make any sense. So we could put it just above here on that. But in one way or another, we've got, this is a third wave here. So I think we're doing all the right things here. Yeah, so we'll take the rest of it off on that 2.8 there, or bring a stop down to here, and we're just going to get out. If this becomes the resistance here, this area here, this group 2 here, then we'll look to short it again from that place, unless it cascades down further. But the news about this is that this move from here all the way up to here, this is corrective, right? So that means that this low here is going to be taken out at some point. So there's going to be some sort of, so if you want to hang in there, that's fine. I don't know how high that's going to go. It could come really high, or could come quite low here. I would assume that it would come lower based on what I can see happening at this level, and then the third wave will drop pretty quickly here. So you may not want to get out. I'll leave that to you, but we want to get back in. We want to be back in over here somewhere. So I'll just wait for all this to unfold here for that. Alrighty. So over to copper, and look. Yeah, this is high grade copper here. We can look at the futures, or we'll look at another market as well. But basically, you can see that this is just making new lows here. So we could view it as a triangle, as an A and a B and a C and a D and E here. That would be bring it in line with the XME, but that's a little bit sort of hopeful. So I'm just going to bring the XME, because we normally look at that. I forgot to put it up, but yeah. So we're looking for this move to still to come down here. There's different ways to count all of this here. I wouldn't sort of worry about it too much. It just needs to come down, So that's basically where that is at the moment. So I'll just leave that to one side. So there is this particular pattern here. There is a more bearish pattern. So the more bearish pattern would be viewing, this is the United States Copper Index Fund. So it's looking at this as the A wave here, the ABC for the B wave here, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and there'll be a little 1 and 2 in here as well. So we could expect copper to drop pretty quickly. So I kind of actually like this here. This kind of seems about right, but does put the XME down much lower than I thought as well. Definitely don't see I'll just have a look at the futures market for a moment. Just bear with me here. We need to go to commodities, and we've got this one here. Yeah, this is sort of how I've got this too. Not much difference in it all, but so we've got this as the A, B, C here at least, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then coming into this sort of third wave here, and fourth, and so on. So we still need there's still plenty of scope for this to come down further. It also looks like a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we'll probably get some sort of little rally coming into here as a wave 2 coming back into the retesting the 730 at that point, perhaps at tops, and then dropping pretty quickly. So if that happens, we'll point out a short trade for the futures market. But yeah, definitely to the downside for these markets. And then we come over to uranium. I won't do iron ore. I'll just spend a little bit more time on this particular horse here. So we're looking for wave 3, 4. I'm not quite sure if that's finished yet. There might be one more little push into that, and then we'll get this wave 4, and then we'll get this wave 5 up here. It'll be like that. So that means we can have a look at some of the stocks in this little zone here. We've got uranium here somewhere, and thanks to one of our members. He mentioned on the dividend side of things, it appears that this one here is the only one with a dividend, and it's a very small dividend, like it's not even chucking you the bone, you know. So what we'll do is with these here, these are the Aussie ones up here, and these are the US ones here, so a bit for everybody, so to speak. So I'm thinking that because there's no dividends in all of this, and we're looking for a trend, then I think it's probably better. My first thought is to look for the market, the leader, you know, the leaders in the market, because the leaders range more than the followers do in these instances. So basically the US was correcting overnight, so we can expect these Aussie ones to correct. We'll just start with this one here, and we can see that it's a little bit toppy up here. It's hit, well, it's quite close on $5 up here, close enough. That's where all the what's the names will be. I can see them coming in at this point. So yeah, I mean, the normal thing for this market here would be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, this type of thing here, and then moving up. That's pretty much it. But you know, we talked about pretty much, you know, buying this in this bunch here somewhere. So you know, we're talking about having a part trade or this or that, you know. Once this settles over here, we'll take a closer look at this here, but you can definitely expect something like this. I've probably drawn this too big, but 5 is the second strongest number, so it's going to play out in this point. This is a bit of a bit more of a penny stock in this particular case. I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to, it might be an explorer or something, you know. So PDN is obviously the main fish in the tank here. So as I mentioned before with this one here, we're at $1, so we're going to see some type of, you know, playing around at the dollar. But in the bigger picture, this top here and this move here, this top will be taken out, this move here is corrective. And yeah, I mean, really, this is the, you know, the accumulation process across here. So we could certainly square this particular distance up, Wyckoff kind of stuff here. So we'll be up at $2 here without too much problem in this in this trend here. It's just that it's going to sort of fluff around the $1 area here. It had a little arrival reaction, so it'll come back and test it. You know, it may open up higher, but you're going to get something like, you know, something like this. You know, that's how that's going to sort of play out. So buying it again down at 95, 96 would be a nice place to do that. And then I won't worry about first uranium. It's not much there. And CCJ here. So this will be the same here as well. It's at the medium level 40 here. So it's going to play around here a little bit as well. So we can expect some, you know, it might be a little bit more than I expect in some cases, but there should be something here before pushing up higher on this one. I think we need to look at these on the weekly chart too, just to see the range in these markets. So this one's a bit of a following stock because it has not really testing up here higher. It's not following by much. Let's just compare them again here. So this one here is definitely a leader because it's left this big correctional pattern down here, where this one here, let's click on this one, is still below this, you know. I mean, you could split your bets up. Let's just check on this one again. This one here is a little bit more advanced than this one. So I'd kind of rather be in this one. I would probably have, if I had to split my bet up, I would have more on this one, less on this one, and definitely less on this one here. But yeah, so that's it. So, well, really, this one here is paying a dividend. It's not much, but it's something, and it's also the leader. So I guess this is the chosen one, so to speak. Okay, so I'm going to move on from this, but there's definitely more upside here, and as I mentioned before with this market here, I don't know if it was on the monthly that we had a look at it. I think it's kind of important to just have a bit of a look at this again here. So this is basically the pattern that we're looking at here. This is all of wave 1 here and 2 here. So we'll see how this third wave develops. So this is what's going on here. And as I mentioned yesterday, there's, China's doing 450 nuclear plants this year. I think it's this year or something of that nature. Anyway, some humongous situation, and they'll have half the cost of energy than the US will. So they'll be looking between 1 and 5 cents, where the US will be between 8 and 11 cents. So that's kind of what we're looking at with all of this. So, I know we've looked at it before, but it's just important to this is, what I'm also putting here is don't feel that you're missing out here. That's the point here. So this is the new Bitcoin. So that's all of that, and move over to the energy sector. So this is the XLE here, and it's it's not mirroring the crude oil at the moment, but it's kind of there in its own little sort of way. I still think this. I'm not quite sure about how this is going to play out. This is corrective here. I don't know if we're going to push up and then push down here to finish this off, but we need some. It's not finished just yet with this. So crude oil will be the same, and also and talk about same. We'll look at XOM here. So this is also in a wave 3 and 4. I could put wave 4 over here and be done with it. We can just go straight up from there. But it's not what I'm sort of seeing on crude oil at the moment, because this here, I can look at this as an ABC pattern here. So that's good enough to be wave 4 over here. If this top to the bottom here at the 72 here, in this case 11720, if that becomes the tested support, which is also the 61.8%, this is all a group 2 here, if that becomes a support, well, then we'll be going up at that point. But in the bigger picture for all of this, it's pretty much, with all of them, an ABC, wave 4, be here or here. I'll know that shortly, and then up for wave 5 for 1, and pull back for 2, and then continuing to the upside. So really the trade's over here, but we'll see what we can do with not so much this particular market, but we're looking at crude oil. So with crude oil here, I could put wave 4 over here for this. I could put wave 4 on this slide. I can have this as an A wave and a B wave here. Put this B wave over here. I could do that. And then look at this as the C wave here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. I just don't have a good third wave in here for this. And in fact, it looks like an A and a B and a C wave into that point. So I'm thinking the way around this is that this is impulsive, but this would be wave C over here. So if I'm wrong, and we can expect this to push up here a little bit further. We'll have a closer look at that in a moment. So if I was wrong, then we'll need to look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 over here. And if it was wave 2 over here, then this wave 1 here would come down and would give us a wave 2 down into supply levels here, which is probably about here at $89, and then push up from that point. So we can move in over here for that, and we'll build in from that point. But otherwise, we just got to be a little bit careful. We could get this drop here, a bit of a sucker move. Yeah, I think I did look at this here on the 100 ticks. I'm not sure. Just check. Could be 1,000. Yeah, I did have a bit of a look at it here. So I was thinking that this here would be wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for this, to finish that off, So then we'll either come down for the ABC down to 89 roughly area here, and then we could go up from there, and then we'll go long here, or it won't do that, and it's going to mosey on down here and make a new low here and suck everybody in. So we'll just wait till we get over this side. So we'll know shortly anyway for this. So we're not really missing much. But that's that on the crude side, and I'll just leave that there and do that. So then we come over to the natural gas. So with the natural gas, in the bigger picture, you know that I can look at this as a top over here. I don't think it's the case, but the case for that being that we got 5 waves down here. And even if we had 5 waves down here, we could have an A wave here, an A, B, C for a B wave over here, you know, and have a B wave here. I'll just put that in there, and then go down here for some other type of correction, maybe in triangle or something or other. So the only way I know that I'm going to be bullish is that if I take this top out here, because this move here is in 3 waves and I've got it as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, but I don't know if that's true. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't, it's possible, but I don't know if it's true. So I need to wait for more information over here that we've been doing. And as a wave 1 from here to here is wave 1, we had an ABC back into the 50-60%. So that's nice, and it counts okay as an ABC. I can actually squeeze wave 1 out of here. I can look at this as an ABC pattern here. I could look at this as wave 1 here. I can look at wave 1 here. I could look at wave 2 here. I don't know if this is true or not. I could also come into here and look at this as wave 1 and 2 in here as well, and look for a build up to the upside. So it's possible, but it's just you're in the guessing game at that point. So the other point here is that from the top to the bottom here, this band here, I'll just double check, that is the 50-60%, yeah, roughly, good enough. So that means that this market could come up and test that and just fail again at this point. If we got a nice support on this, on the 2900 here, then that would be the long trade over here. That would be that's the safe trade. So if you want safety first, then that would be it here. If you want to, you know, take a risk, then walk through this door here. So we're going to go into the 100 tick area here, and that would be the wave 1 up the top here. That's the A, B, and C for wave 2. This wave 1 here counts okay. This A, B, C counts okay. It's very touching low over here for that. So that's, you know, that's a red flag. This move up here can count quite nicely as wave 1. This counts nicely here as an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here for a C wave. So it's quite a nice ABC pattern here. I could probably get 5 waves out of it, I guess, in terms of 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for third wave, fourth wave, and fifth wave. So I suppose you could look at it in a different way. So then you kind of come to this situation, just keep drilling in here until it triggers in, really. That's all we're doing. So we look at this top here roughly, this low here. We know that this is the 50 and the 61.8% here for this. So if it was going to fail, then this move up here would just come up to here and fail at that point. That's how that would play out. So this is group 2 here. So from 2800 to 2900, you got the Fibonacci numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. When we talk about 8, we talk about group 2. So the lower end of group 2 is 65. In this case, 28.65 here. So $2.80 here. So that 2685. If you see that the market gets support in that there, or starts to build support in this space here, right, in some way or another, a little classic trading levels pattern, then you could get a small position at that point in this. It would be a little bit riskier. I'm going to make this fat line thin, so you could make that 25%, 33%, whatever. Don't get greedy because it's at risk. I'm not quite sure about this 5 waves up here. It may be that this comes in up here and we come back here as well. So anyway, the takeaway is, if you can see how this will support here, right, and then it eventually failed. So you can see that this number is important, this 28.65, right? So if you see it as support over here, then that's your green light to get a small position here or above the 72 or above here, somewhere in here, something that's not going to bother you too much, okay? So I'll leave that with you at that point, but it's that number that will be success or failure as simple support and resistance. And you know what support looks like. It's just like this. You wait for the first high above the level, above the 28.65 here. Wait for that support over that first high here, and you go long above that. You may get a second high here as well that will trigger you in. And also this move down here could also drop back below the level here again. So you know that, so it can drop below the level here and then resurface itself back up over here. And also this little move in here will be a classic trading levels pattern too. So it'll be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, an ABC pattern in here, and then you can go long over here once you've got that. So this little pattern in here will be the same as this bigger pattern here. So the arrival, the reaction, first high above the level, it's all pretty much same. So anyway, that's success or failure if you can recognize it at that level there, and then we can look to build in on that. Yeah, so just do it small because you know we're not in the clear yet. We're just being a bit cheeky here, and it could cost you. You know, won't cost me, it'll cost you. So you know, I don't mind a loss. It's just the time that it takes to recover from a loss. You know. Rightio. So that's it. Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.